The United States has announced new sanctions against the president and a senior lawyer of the International Criminal Court, marking a further escalation in its dispute with the tribunal. Secretary of State Marco Rubio outlined the measures, which target officials linked to ICC proceedings. The move reflects Washington's wider objections to the court's jurisdiction and its handling of international accountability cases. Legal experts and diplomats are assessing the sanctions' scope and their potential effect on relations between the United States, the ICE, and allied governments. Technology executives are increasingly publishing lengthy open letters outlining their ambitions for artificial intelligence. Meta chief executive Mark Zuckerberg is among the leaders presenting detailed visions for how AI should develop and serve society. The statements are designed to influence public debate, investor expectations, and future regulation, while addressing concerns over safety, ethics, and social impact. Analysts say the trend reflects the strategic importance of AI as companies seek to demonstrate transparency and shape the standards that may govern increasingly powerful systems. AI companies including Anthropic and OpenAI regularly publish reports on how their products are used, but researchers say those disclosures can be selective and difficult to independently verify. Critics argue that incomplete data limits efforts to measure AI's social effects, risks, and real-world adoption. A new initiative, the AI Observatory, aims to fill that gap by gathering and analyzing broader, independently verifiable usage data. Its backers say the project could provide stronger oversight and more reliable evidence for researchers, policymakers, and the public. Google is allowing users of its Gemini tools and Flow video generator to remove visible watermarks from AI-created images and videos. A new media watermark setting lets users disable the small sparkle mark normally shown in the bottom right corner of generated content. The change responds to requests for greater control over presentation and distribution. Google says the update is part of ongoing refinements to its generative AI products as platforms weigh user flexibility against transparency around content created by artificial intelligence. A new patent and licensing framework aims to protect musicians and songwriters while supporting licensed AI music services. The system gives developers access to a portfolio of protected technology through an online platform, with companies including Udio and Gry among early adopters. Supporters say the approach combines intellectual property safeguards with a clearer path for innovation. By linking patents, licensing, and compensation, the framework seeks to address legal disputes over AI-generated music and promote more sustainable, responsible development across the industry. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a planned government debt buyback could exceed the previously announced $4 billion level. In comments to CNBC, Bessent indicated that the accelerated operation may be larger as the Treasury evaluates its debt management strategy. Buybacks can help manage the government's borrowing profile and market liquidity, but a bigger program would raise questions about the scale of the financial commitment. Analysts are watching for further Treasury details on the objectives, timing, and factors behind any increase. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has signed an executive order placing new restrictions on data center development, targeting what he called predatory backers and weak project proposals. The action responds to rapid growth in facilities needed for cloud computing and artificial intelligence. State officials say future projects must better serve the public interest and meet stronger standards. The order addresses concerns about energy and water use, infrastructure pressure, environmental effects, and competition, while seeking to preserve the economic benefits of technology investment. Questions are being raised about former President Trump's treatment of military personnel, including commentary involving the crew of the USS Abraham Lincoln. Critics argue that his actions and rhetoric reflect insufficient respect for service members and military institutions. The debate centers on how political leaders should recognize the sacrifices and responsibilities of the armed forces. Supporters and opponents offer sharply different interpretations of the incidents, while observers examine their broader implications for morale, civil-military relations, and public confidence in political leadership.